Hey everyone, Jedi64 and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about something very interesting. Did you know there was a completely different version of Episode 9? Basically, this was the original script Colin Trevorrow wrote, but after Carrie Fisher passed away, they decided to get J.J. Abrams back and scrap the script. So this is all the concept art, and this is basically the story and like the whole script that the movie would have been about. And I have to be honest with you, it might be better than The Rise of Skywalker. Like, don't get me wrong, I still love The Rise of Skywalker, but this script it's just really good. So let's just get started. So the movie would have opened up with BB-8 on board a secret mission on board a First Order space station where all the ships are being constructed and stuff. Basically, it's a massive shipyard with all the ships there being manufactured, reassembled, and all that stuff. So basically, our heroes would have landed on the bottom of the planet to take the elevator to the top of the space station, where they have to avoid the First Order security, but they get caught, and Rey jumps in wearing a Tusken Raider disguise and slices up all the stormtroopers, and they get aboard the ship, and there's an epic battle. Finn and Poe are wearing, like, stormtrooper armor in this concept art, but apparently they're called Brute Troopers. They would have introduced a new stormtrooper variant in this movie, and we see Rey has a double-bladed lightsaber, and she would have made this using pieces of Luke's old lightsaber and her staff, which I think was awesome because like we see her using her staff in the sequel trilogy. So I think this like I love her yellow lightsaber in The Rise of Skywalker so badly, but turn this yellow and it would have been perfect. Anyway, they escape, they grab BB-8, they blow up the shipyard, and they jump to hyperspace with the stolen First Order dreadnought, which it's massive in this concept art. So how they were able to do that, I think, because in the script, not novels, in the script, Rey uses like a Jedi mind trick to trick the pilots into showing them how to pilot it. They take all the people captive. Ugh, I cannot talk. But anyway, they take all of the crew ugh, captive. That is a hard word to pronounce. Anyway, we cut back to Leia, who this is what Leia would have looked like in the movie. This is the planet that they're on. It's not Avon Cross. It's a different planet. It would have been kind of like a snow planet with like snow on the trees and stuff. And this is what Leia would have looked like in this movie. Like she would have kind of looked like her Ewok outfit from Return of the Jedi, which I think looks awesome. So anyway, they would have come back to the base and they would have been like, "Wow, look at all these ships and weapons aboard the ship we just stole." However, they don't have enough pilots or like manpower to handle them, so it's not really useful to them because they don't have any people. So they suggest that they like Rose looks into the old Jedi text where they find an old Jedi beacon in the center of the old Jedi temple on Coruscant. So Rose, Finn, 3PO, and R2 head to Coruscant to reactivate the beacon so they can send a call out to the galaxy asking for help. Because apparently the First Order in this script have like a massive cloak over the galaxy preventing like people from making communication. And we cut back to Kylo Ren, who is exploring Vader's old castle on Mustafar. Basically, he finds an old Sith hologram with Palpatine being like, "Lord Vader, should Luke Skywalker strike me down, take him to the Remcore system. There he will learn from Tor Valum, the master of my Sith teacher." So he looks into the hologram trying to find information about the Sith and all that. However, it did a scan and it realizes that it's not Vader, so it blows up in his face. Lightning goes everywhere. His face gets all scarred up. So he gets fixed up by these monk-looking people, and then once he gets back to the First Order, he has like a new helmet put together, kind of like Vader's, which I think is just a really cool concept. Like that looks so cool. Anyway, this is what Coruscant would have looked like. There's a massive space station hovering over the planet, and General Hux has become the Supreme Chancellor. He's basically ruling over Coruscant and the galaxy with Iron Fist, while the Supreme Leader, aka Kylo Ren, does his own thing. We see what looks to be a brute trooper, because of their like very gray armor, executing a resistance pilot. kind of like a lightsaber thing. This would have been admittedly a little too dark in my opinion, but it would have been kind of cool, honestly. We cut back to Rey, who is training with the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker, who was actually haunting Kylo during the scene where he's trying to get the Sith holocron. Rey is meditating above a pool of water, and she questions Luke, being like, "This whole light and dark thing, isn't there a balance to it? Like, why reject all of our emotions when we can have equal light, equal darkness? Isn't that true balance?" Because we see in like the prequels, the Jedi do not have good balance over their emotions. So I really like Rey's like journey in this movie. Anyway, she and Kylo have a vision of the first Jedi temple on the planet Mortis, which is a planet that we see in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's kind of like a god planet where like the Mortis gods resigned, and like if you've seen my Ahsoka edit review, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this would have been really cool because we would have seen Mortis in live action. So Rey realizes that Kylo is getting more powerful and she has to stop him before it's too late. So our heroes split up. Rey, Poe, and Chewie and BB-8 head to this water-looking planet to meet up with a friend that Poe has that can help her get to Mortis. They find out how to get to Mortis, and let's see. Oh yeah, we cut back to Finn and Rose, who have infiltrated the ruins of the old Jedi Temple on Coruscant. They fix the beacon. They send out a distress signal, and it gets basically destroyed. Like Kylo reaches out for the Force, and from where he is, and it gets blown up. So that plan didn't work. We then cut back to Kylo, who has reached the Remicor system, where we see him walking past like the dead corpses of Jedi and Sith, or we see the Jedi have passed on while the Sith bones still remain. We see him meet up with Tor Valen, which is this crazy looking alien. Like it's just absolutely wild, man. Like it's crazy. He basically is like, "I will teach you the power of the dark side." He teaches Kylo how to drain the life force out of something, like he drains the life force out of a tree. And then he has Kylo go into a cave where he fights a version of Vader in like this glass mirror version of it, where he fights Vader, he loses, and then he kills Tor Valum out of rage. And then he realizes that he has everything he needs to get to Mortis, just the Force. Anyway, we cut back to Rey, Poe, and Chewie as the Knights of Ren finally catch up with them. An interesting fact, one of the Knights of Ren actually would have been using the dark saber, which is really cool in my opinion. Like that sounds really interesting. Like it's like I said, this script it's not perfect, but it would have been really cool to see. Anyway, they fight on a massive skiff. They get chased over the water by the Night Buzzard, or the Knife Nine, as they would have called it. They make it to the platform. Chewie kills a Knight of Ren. Rey uses the dark side and uses Force lightning to kill one of them. Poe's like, "Hey, you okay?" And Rey's like, "I'm fine." But then they split up. So Rey now knows how to get to Mortis, but Poe's like, "No, you can't leave." And they kiss because throughout the script, the movie, they've been kind of building up kind of like a Han Solo Leia romance kind of thing. So that's cool. Like the sequel trilogy needed more romance in it, if you ask me, and not the Finn and Rose kind of romance. That plot line went absolutely nowhere. Anyway, so they split up. Rey heads to Mortis, and Finn or Poe, Chewie, and BB-8 head back to the Resistance base. Leia tries to send out another message, but nothing happens. So she goes to Lando asking for help, and he basically says, "No, I'm no help to you right now," and that's that for now. We then get to the big final battle where Finn rallies the citizens of Coruscant to rise up against the First Order. There's a stormtrooper rebellion, like he leads a stormtrooper rebellion. The stormtroopers are sick of the purge troopers. They rise up, they take these old Imperial tanks and go up against these massive First Order tanks. It's all pew 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 pew, bang 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 bang. Just an epic battle. Like there's a battle in space where the Falcon is flying. Like Poe flies the Falcon, Chewie flies an X-wing because there's not enough pilots. The Falcon, I think, almost gets shot down, but Chewie gets shot down, and R2 gets hit. So we see emotion. 3PO's like, "I can't leave him." Like that would have been really cool to see. Like give R2 and like C3PO a lot of big moments to shine. They have BB-8 has to disable something. I think I've only seen like the script once or read through it once, basically. So BB-8 flies through all the firepower. He disables. Oh, I think it's the. I think it's like a. Oh, it's like a jammer. I think. Yeah. Anyway, we cut back to Rey and Kylo, who have landed on Mortis. In the script, they would have traveled through a black hole, interstellar style. We see that the planet is changing seasons rapidly. We see Rey have a vision of her parents being like, "Why did you leave me?" And then we see that Kylo killed her parents in the rain flashback in The Force Awakens. Finally, coming back to that, we see Kylo have a vision of him as a boy talking to Han Solo, seeing that kind of regret in his eyes. I think that's really cool. They make it to the temple, but there's nothing there. Or wait, no, they. Oh yeah, I remember now. They meet halfway up the mountain, and like Rey and Kylo fight. However, Kylo gets the upper hand as he taunts her and slices Rey's face, blinding her. Rey gets back up through the will of the Force, and they fight some more. It is epic. We then see the Resistance defeat the First Order, like they get destroyed, and General Hux, he was kind of like the Hitler of this trilogy, so he takes a lightsaber and kills himself, kind of like how Hitler did. Though that might not be entirely true, because the whole theory he survived, he faked his death. It's a whole thing. Anyway, in the concept art, it's red, but in the script, it's actually purple because it's Mace Windu's lightsaber, which I think would have been really cool. Anyway, Kylo gets to the temple, but there's nothing there. He's like, "Where's the power?" Luke is there. He's like, "There's nothing here. This is where the dark side leads you, Ben." An empty tomb. He tries to slash Luke, but Luke catches the blade of the lightsaber, saying like, "You are no Skywalker." They then fight some more. Rey and Kylo fight. Death Rey gets the upper hand, slicing Kylo's lightsaber off in half, slicing off some of his fingers in the process. Using the dark side, he drains Rey's life energy. But Leia reaches through the Force and tells Kylo, "No, this has to end. No more violence." So Kylo basically turns back to the light side. It's an abrupt turn. I think the Rise of Skywalker did his redemption a little better with the Han Solo thing. So yeah, he basically gives all of his life force to save Rey, dies in the process, and tells Rey her last name, Rey Solano. So yeah, that's interesting. Like that was Rey's original last name. It's very interesting. I like Skywalker better though. She then gets transported to an astral plane where she meets up with Yoda, Obi-Wan, Luke, probably Anakin, where they're like, "Hey, you finally found a good balance of the light and dark, and hey, congratulations." That kind of thing. So she gets sent back a few years in the future, I think, where we see Finn and Rose kind of jump-started rebuilding the Jedi Order without her. So now that she's back, she can start training all the younglings to become Jedi. And that is where the movie ends. Oh yeah, R2 did get fixed. I forgot about that. But yeah, that is the original script for Star Wars Episode 9, Duel of the Fates. I think the reason why this script was canceled is because The Last Jedi was very divisive. So in the end, they were just like, you know what, we just gotta try our best to satisfy all fans, which they didn't really do. Like The Rise of Skywalker is fantastic, but I feel like this script would have satisfied almost all fans, in my opinion. Another big thing that kind of played a part in the whole cancellation was Carrie Fisher's death. And if she had not passed away, this movie would have most likely been made, but because she passed away, they kind of had to cancel it. What they did with her in The Rise of Skywalker with the deepfake was fantastic, but in this script, I don't see them being able to do that, so they would just most likely have to write her out of the story entirely. So, all in all, I think that's what makes The Rise of Skywalker a little better, in my opinion. So, yeah, this was Star Wars Episode 9 Duel of the Fates. All things considered, I think it's a really cool concept, a really cool story, and I hope you all enjoyed listening to me talk about it. Anyway, may the force be with you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.